Good morning. When I sat down to write this speech, I thought back to all the senior speeches I can remember from my time here at Brooks. At first, I was trying to brainstorm what I could say and which speeches had stuck out with me and why. What I realized as I was doing this, however, is that these speeches have become somewhat of a dying art here at Brooks. My freshman year, almost every senior addressed the community at some point during the year. And since then, it seemed as if the numbers have dwindled to the point where only a handful of us are doing them now. Brooks has changed a lot since my freshman year, but I think what's changed more than anything else has been myself. Now, I know that's a little bit cliche, but it's true. I remember sitting through all of those speeches and being terrified of having to give one. What would I say? How would I talk in front of that many people? Now you all know me, or maybe you don't. I mean, what is a Galli anyways? To be fair, that's a hard question, and one that I don't know if I'm totally equipped to answer. But we'll come back to that. First, I'd like to tell you a story. The summer after my third grade year of school, my family, like every year, spent the week of the 4th of July in New Hampshire. The weather was not very good that week. It was rainy and windy, and altogether not very pleasant. So my sister, brother, and their friends and I spent a lot of time watching TV. Now, this was back when MTV was still a thing, and because my sister and brother were teenagers, it was the only thing they could ever agree to watch together. That particular summer, MTV was doing a top 250 songs of the 2000s countdown, which would end with a giant concert on the Las Vegas Strip. In between each song, the two hosts of the event would go around the Strip and talk to people about what they were doing for the summer or what they thought of a certain band or something to that extent, before announcing the next song that would be played on the station. MTV aptly called the whole thing their Summer on the Strip. Now, even though I had been to Las Vegas before on a family vacation, I was still unaware as to what the strip they were referring to was. After a few days of having watched this, I turned to my siblings and I said, "You know, it's funny how no one has stripped during the Summer on the Strip." My brother and sister, still to this day, have never let that go. And while that memory may be a little bit embarrassing for me, it's not something that I'm embarrassed of. And I think that's an important distinction for all of us to make. We've all had those moments, whether or not we're willing to admit it. Those things we wish we'd never done or said. Those moments, however, are fleeting and are easily forgotten. I do not regret being a naive little kid, but I do regret how I let moments like that affect larger areas of my life. How I let my failures and shortcomings dictate what I thought I could and could not do. I regret all the opportunities I did not take because I was afraid. All the times I did not do something because I feared how it might make me look. All the chances I had to grow and to learn, to experience new things, and step out of my comfort zone. If you had asked me freshman year if I would give a senior speech, I would have told you no. I would have made some excuse about why I couldn't do it or why I wasn't going to. But the real reason would have been that I was scared. Scared of standing up here with all of you watching me with nowhere to hide and nowhere to run. Scared of what you would all think of me or what you would say about me. Scared of looking back on today and remembering it as another embarrassing moment in my past. But what I've come to realize since then is that it's not the mistakes that we make that linger in our memory. It's the mistakes that we never gave ourselves the chance to make that come back to haunt us. I no longer look back for reasons not to do something. I look forward for opportunities to express myself and take chances I never would have considered in the past. I'd like to go back to the question I posed a little earlier about what a Galli actually is. If you're looking for a literal meaning, the word Galli directly translates from Italian to mean Well, it means roosters. Not very deep, I know. But if you're wondering more about who or what I am, I don't have an answer for you. I don't know who I am or who I'll become, but I think that's okay. We can all sit around and worry about what happened in the past or what might happen in the future, but all we can truly control is the now. If you spend all your time wondering about what could have been or what might be, there's no time left to enjoy what's in front of you. In the words of Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around every once in a while. You could miss it. Now, in the spirit of taking opportunities that present themselves, I have just one last thing to say. Well, I know this might be a little late. I figure, better late than never, right? Emma, will you go to prom with me? Yeah? That's all I got. Thank you.